Congressman Clyde, thanks so much for being with us today. I know it's a very busy afternoon around much of the country, but your state's primary isn't until May. But I'm sure you're watching this race closely. What are you going to be paying attention to the most this afternoon and this evening?
Well, I think what we can see here on Super Tuesday is Nikki Haley back when we had the South Carolina primary and she lost by 20 points. You know, that basically put the nail in her coffin. I think her coffin is going to be buried today on Super Tuesday. We're going to have our Republican candidate, and it's going to be President Trump. And I'm looking forward to his leadership on the issues, especially relating to the southern border.
Congressman, former President Trump yesterday, after the Supreme Court rolled out in Colorado that he could remain on the ballot, said it's time for the country to unite here. There's no secret there's some division in this country right now. How's he able to do that? What do you think his messaging turns into over the next couple months?
Well, I think the Supreme Court decision was absolutely what it should have been, 9-0. That was a tremendous decision, and it reinforced the fact that states cannot unilaterally take a person off a presidential ballot, accuse them of insurrection. That's just not something that states have the authority to do, you know, when a person's never been even charged or convicted of that. But this is phenomenal for President Trump, and I think all it does is show that he's a fighter and he's a winner.
Congressman, you mentioned the border particularly being concerning, and we did learn from a Newsmax source that just 4 days in a row, we've had more than 7,000 more illegal immigrants coming in through our southern border. It seems to be what they call kind of the spring surge, but once again, this administration doing absolutely nothing about it. Instead, they seem to be doing quite the opposite. What do you think needs to happen now? Because we certainly know that there is that Senate bill that Mike Johnson is saying, no, I don't want to bring to the table, so to speak, in the House.
Well, you know, the crisis at the southern border is our #1 issue. That is what the Americans care about the most. I mean, how many more American citizens have to be murdered by illegal aliens or be killed by fentanyl for President Biden to close the border? I mean, this is the #1 issue. We have H.R. 2 already over at the Senate, so I think they need to be acting on that. We need to be attaching H.R. 2 to every funding measure that we send across to the Senate. That's what Congress needs to do to make this issue, to solve this issue. And the president needs to act upon the authority that he currently has, because he has all the authority he needs to do everything on the southern border, but he's doing nothing. And he's doing that intentionally because he wants the invasion on our southern border.
Yeah, that's just it. We know that while this all continues, the border remains wide open. People are coming through in record numbers here. It's chaos for the country here. Congressman, though, I'm going to switch to this. Fani Willis, something you are very outspoken about. The defense lawyers for President Trump, they want to call another witness that has knowledgeable information of when the relationships between Willis and Nathan Wade began, and again, pokes holes in the credibility of the DA. What do you think of this here? Should Judge McAfee hear this potential witness? It's a deputy DA from a neighboring county here. How do you think this goes?
Well, I think the judge you should be looking at all the evidence, every bit of evidence that he can see, even the evidence of a restaurant waiter who saw both Nathan Wade and his attorney just 5 weeks ago, when his attorney on the stand lied and said he hadn't talked to Nathan Wade in 2 years. I mean, I think the judge needs to look at all the evidence, make his decision, and I believe that decision will be to disqualify Fani Willis from this case, because she has certainly done things that make her not qualified.
We know that decision is going to come from the judge very soon. Congressman from Georgia, Andrew Clyde, sir, thank you for coming on American Agenda. We appreciate it.
Thank you.